Welcome to MMA Sip and Smoke. Let's see if I'm live here. Welcome, bow betters. Hopefully I got some sound. Let's check the sound as always. Check the sound 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. The microphone check 1 2. The 20 acre, the Drew Estate 20 acre farms. That's what this is MMA Sip and Smoke, where we enjoy fine libations along with fine or affordable cigars. Let me check the sound here. We've got some really, really great beer here. This microphone check 1 2. I sort of cheated. I went a little bit ahead because I was, all right, good. I got sound. What's up, people? Hopefully, we could get somebody in the chat talking about Kevin Lee coming back. I see Alexander Romanov is going to be fighting in this particular card. Max Griffin against Michael Morales. I believe that Michael Chiesa is back on this card, or is he not? We'll have to look at that. Robbie Lawler. Let me move the television. Microphone check. All right, guys. Welcome, bow betters. Yeah, let's see here. Gurum Kutsulade is fighting again. I'm not betting on that dude again. Max Griffin, Michael Morales, Demiris Magulov. Didn't he just fight Sean Strickland against Magomed Abusipian? Man, he's in a tough... Sean Strickland is a badass. Jack Magdalena. Oh, no, that's coming up later. So, Grant Dawson. A really short card. I'm interested to see how Kevin Lee does. I don't think he's going to do that well. I mean, he didn't dominate. He didn't do that well. So I didn't like that. I didn't like his performance when he's left. So I don't know what Kevin Lee has left, if he's going to improve. Maybe he does, right? I'm just curious to see how he turns out. I know Dana definitely gave him another opportunity. Let's hope that he grabs that opportunity and makes the most of it, right? But today we're gonna smoke this. This is really special because I done a lot of Drew Estate cigars, right? I've smoked a bunch of them. This one I got at Binny's. I didn't go to my local area, my local guy, because I was already by the Binny's. And caught my eye because I read the box, right? I read the box, and it said that this cigar is actually a Floridian cigar. This is made in Florida on a Drew Estate farm in Florida, and it is rare nowadays. It wasn't quite in the past that we'd have cigars that were made in the United States, and this is a cigar that's made in the United States. I think I have to read up on it, but I'm assuming that that's what the 20 acre farm is. I believe I read that it said that it was a 20 acre farm in Florida. Again, I do most of all my tastings blindly. I don't go read anybody. I don't go listen to Cigars Daily or somebody else on the interwebs or internet or on YouTube or TikTok about my smokes. I grab them, I decello them, I light them up, and I give you my honest opinion of them, just like I do with my beers. This Mikerphone Brewing, as you can see, it's a double dry hopped IPA with Citra hops, and it is very citrusy. It is very refreshing. Let me get a little sip of this right here. A little sip, because we sip and smoke, Wow, really nice. Just like it says, tons of citrus, very grapefruity, very nice, creamy finish. Amazing beer. I don't think I've had a bad beer from Mikerphone Brewery. I'm happy to drink this thing. This thing is already, the beer is already a 9. The beer is a 9. This is perfect for a summer's day like it is right now. Great flavor, great richness, that creamy finish. Oh my God, that's heaven right there, guys. This is nothing could get better than this, Can't be better than this, guys. Oh man. Wow. That's a winner right there, Mikerphone Brewery. That's a winner chicken dinner. That is one nice beer. Perfect for the summertime. I don't know anything about this cigar. This is an $11 cigar. We were a little bit above our price point that we'd like to stay in, but that's all right. We got to do that. It's important, right? So we're at our price point. I'm going to do some stuff. Let me just turn this around right here. Boom. What's up, people? Welcome, Bow Betters. Welcome, Bow Betters. Boom, 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 boom. Here at Cantina Lopez. We're here at the Cantina. That's interesting. Here at the Cantina, just chilling out, kicking back. I guess I was in the center. It's all right. I'm in the center here. Right? Am I in the center? Yeah, so the first thing that caught my eye was that it was in a cedar wrap, that cedar wrapping, and had that nice silk band, which I think is commemorative of, just the style. Everything that Drew Estate does. Look at that band. 20 Acre Farm, imprinted. Everything that Drew Estate does is just stylish. Really nice band. Oh, beautiful smelling cedar. You guys don't understand how rare. Even Spanish cedar and cedar is becoming more expensive. I don't like how they taped that part right there. Hopefully they did it with probably some gum or something that isn't going to affect the flavor. The other reason I don't like that is because what I was going to do with this cedar band is I showed my friends, and I'm just going to slide it off. There we go. We slid it off. Nice aromas. A little soft, a little peppery there. Yeah, let's see if I could take this off. No, I can't. That's not cool. All right, Drew Estates, you got me with this tape thing here. This tape I'm not a fan of. I hope you use like an organic gum to it, but I'm not a fan of it. So I have this cedar here, right? If you don't have a butane lighter like I have, and tubos, as well as some cigars, you could take this cedar here and make little sticks out of it, right? Just a little cut like that. Take a little cut like that, right? Make another cut. It's a little thinner of a cedar that they have there. Take another cut here of the cedar, right? And we're essentially going to, if you had a butane lighter, and you don't want to use the butane lighter or a Zippo because those fluids, that type of liquid fuel, can affect the actual flavor of the cigar. So what you would do is just, if you didn't have one of these butanes, you light the cedar up here, right? And you use that to toast the cigar, right? The cedar is very thin. It's lighting up very, very fast. But that's what you do with that. Oh, look at it! I didn't even cut my cigar here. Nice little cut right there. I don't know about this cedar technique because the cedar here that I have, or that Drew Estate uses, is very thin. I'll tell you what, on that Cuban cedar, that was some thick cedar. But I wonder how much product, even in Cuba, they have. Yeah, so you can get started there, use the cedar. I'll continue to use the cedar, why not? Ooh. Toasted that sucker. May have let it get too directly in the flame. So I ended up toasting the wrapper, which is not good. But fortunately, it's cedar, so it's going to not affect it that much. I don't think it's going to affect the flavor at all. Right away, nice, mild softness. Lots of pepper, a lot of spice, but very smooth. Lots of cedar, and I think I might have overcharred or over saturated, lit the cigar a little bit too much, which does affect it. Very peppery. Very peppery. Watch check the Timex Marlin, my Marlin, automatic Timex, classic, silver press dial, Hardlex glass, not a sapphire glass, but it's domed, as you can see, like that thing. I do not like the case. The case material is actually very cheap. This watch was only $79 on sale. It's actually gone up in value already. It sells for over $100 if you could find it. But when I put it on my Strapsco strap, nice gold butterfly there. Again, it's an automatic, right? Beautiful, beautiful watch. Good looking watch, but feels really cheap, even including the dial in there. That's like a pressed tin dial, which I think is cool because it's classic from the 70s. I'm not happy with this movement either. It feels rather inexpensive, but it is a beautiful watch. Might be cheap, or at least using inexpensive parts, or not the best parts, but really, I think it's just a well put together watch. Look at a line real quick here. I see a name there. Yeah, Carol Rosa is going to be a good parlay piece, guys. At minus 186, I think now's the time to try to utilize her as a parlay sort of leg. I mean, a phalanx or a foundation. So I'm going to use her because I think she's got Yena Santos, all the way around. I mean, I like Carol Rosa. She's a really, really tough woman. I'm interested in see why Alexander Romanov is not a bigger favorite against Bligo Inobov, right? Bligo is not that good. I don't think Alexander Romanov is that good, but Romanov just has enough power and is going to be a bigger. I think he should be a bigger guy. He's a stronger guy. At heavyweight, Romanov is, he's King Kong. He's projected to do really big things there, and on any given day, he could finish anyone in the heavyweight division, including John Jones, anyone. The guy's got the power, and he's got the basic wrestling, at least the basic control in wrestling, to compete with anybody at that weight class. Yeah, lots of cedar, and I think it had that cedar wrap to it, so that during the curing process or even during the box process, when it has that cedar wrap, it's going to add a lot of that characteristic to the cigar. So it definitely has a lot of cedar and a lot of wood, but it has a nice light creaminess to it. I think this is a cigar that, like many cigars, that could sit for a little while, and a lot of that cedar probably would get a little bit smoother. And I would love to see or try to taste a little bit more of this creamy wrapper here. If it's like a Connecticut shade grown in Florida. And that's what I'm assuming it is. American cigar. Don't know what the filler is. I'm assuming that the fillers can be from Honduras or Nicaragua. But I didn't read it, so I just saw that the wrapper and the cigar was constructed in Florida on a property there that they have, and I was just like really intrigued by that. And that's why I had to have this cigar today. Unique. We don't see a lot of cigars. Most cigars that we get generally are from Central America and from other parts of South America or even Africa or even Asia. Like cigar production in the United States has dissipated, and we do have tobacco-rich lands. We make a lot of cigarette tobacco, unfortunately. That's probably a higher, worth a lot more money than the cigar market, but that's not to be said that we don't have great fertile lands. And Florida is a very fertile state with a fucked up governor, but a very fertile, great land, good people. Just got they're crazy people, crazy Floridians. They're crazy over there in Florida, but they're hella cool. There's a lot of shit to do in Florida. It's a beautiful state, but it's great land. Like I said, great land. That we have. Very nice. The pepperiness is gone. The cedar's still there. It's a slight flintiness. Very smooth. Very subtle. I like this smoke. This is a very, very good quality cigar. I'm impressed. Anybody in the chat? No, nobody's in the chat. Nobody's joining me in the chat. Very impressed so far. The beer is already a 9. I could guzzle this shit. This beer I could just finish so easily. It's light, creamy. It packs a punch because I don't know what the alcohol content is, but man, it is a very, very tasty beer. Drink. The art is by Alyssa and Nick Seguro. Craft inspired by music. Mikerphone Brewing. It is 8%, so this is some strong stuff. Who would have thought like an 8% beer would look like this, right? Like usually it just doesn't strike me as strong, but man, I could see the citra particles in there. Like that is nice. The rind, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Mikerphone, you guys did a fabulous job on this beer. That's me. It's me. Fabulous job. Might even give you guys a 10 on this beer. The cigar is fabulous too. The cigar is starting off, I mean, really good. Really good cigar. Good roll, beautiful wrapper, not a lot of oil, but very uniform flavors that are defined. Nice creamy finish, just like the beer. Love that. Yeah, again, we're at that $11 mark, so it's a little bit higher than I want to be at. But for an American product made here by an American company, you're gonna expect to pay a little bit more. And there's far more premium cigars out there. I think comparing this to like other, it would be interesting to compare this to other cigars of similar makeup that are grown in Nicaragua or El Salvador. I'd be curious. After this, I'm going to look at what the construction is, find out what it is, and try to find a Honduran cigar that's similar to it. But this really is just very smooth, very nice, very subtle, soft flavors, excellent draw. Love that creamy finish. Very nice cigar. For a $10 cigar, this smokes like, can't really go there that far. Don't want to throw out the Davidoff name, but I'm throwing that out there. Like, very nice high-end Connecticut shade. Base cigar. This has a similar flavor set, and for the price, this being $11 compared to some of those high-end Connecticut's at like $20 to $30 range. You know, per price, this is pretty darn good. Florida-based cigar, man. Here in the good old U.S. of A. Who would have thought? You know, it's pretty awesome. I'm happy to smoke an American cigar. It's great that I'm able to review and talk about an American cigar. It's like, I haven't done a Mexican one yet. That's next. I have to do a good Mexican cigar, but you know, we have great land here. We have such good land. We have such, like, a lot of the cigar makers, a lot of people, the cigar market is here in the United States, like the drug market. We enjoy cigars so much here in the United States. To have something like this is really, really a privilege. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to smoke it, but it's another, you know, feather in the cap of Drew Estates. Those guys are making, Drew Estates and Alec and Bradley are two of the best cigar makers right now in the world. I think in any regard. I'm talking even against Cuban Habanos. Like, I had some Cuban cigars, and I don't know the truth about Cubans right now because I haven't been as involved as I once was. Like, I was really immersed in it and would get Cuban product on the regular. Like, every month I'd have a certain, or every other week I'd have a certain amount of Cuban product that I would be able to sell and to taste. I haven't had that access, but in the limited access that I did have, like when I was in Costa Rica, we had some cigars that were really, really good. Other ones that were okay, but I definitely felt that there were definitely on, like, Honduran and Ecuadorian and other cigars that were on par with the cigars that I had, and paying a super premium price that were from Cuba. Right? Cuba does make the best, fantastic cigars, some of the best cigars in the world. Are they the ultimate best anymore? I don't think so. It always comes back to taste anyways, right? Can you say that the French wine is always going to be the best wine? Sure, there's some French fantastic wines, but then, you know, you go to Argentina and there's the Argentinian Malbec, or you go to Chile and taste their wine, or Romania. Hungary has great wines. Germany has fantastic wines, right? Of course, here in the United States, here in Napa, in Sonoma, we have great wines. In Oregon, we have great wines. In Washington State, we have great wines. Even Arizona, they make wine. Arizona makes some fine Pinot Noir, very, very good wines. I think even Mexico's making wine now as well. Something about French as well as our coastal wines, our California wines that are on the West Coast. A lot of those farms are fed from that ocean, have that ocean cooling and the mist that it provides, unique flavor to, and it's great for the product there. Here, a Cardinal out there. Oh my God, this beer is so good. Beer's a 10, guys. 10, 10, 10. I can see all the rind still in there. Juicy flavors. Citrusy, but not overwhelmingly citrus. It doesn't taste like I'm drinking just orange juice, but it is super juicy. Super creamy on the end. Love that. That creamy. Oh man, it's just so good. Perfect with this cigar. Really, really good. I have to go get me another one. We're going to finish all 4 of these. 4 cheesy. Welcome, Boutbetters. Welcome back, welcome back. Come you back. Welcome, Boutbetters. Microphone check 1 2. 1 2. 1 2 1 2. It's a fucking fabulous beer, guys. Mikerphone Brewery right here in Chicago, Illinois, or just outside of Chicago. Went to the brewery. It was nice, man. Good time. They have awesome pinball machines. I was playing the Mandalorian pinball machine the whole time I was there. They had good pizza. Hopefully they open up a whole, almost like Old Irving, they opened up a full kitchen. You know, Old Irving's got it with that food, man. Their food over there at Old Irving Brewery is fabulous. I've been going there for years now, and I never get tired of. I always find something to order that is just fabulous. On the fighting side, guys, let's just start with the main event. Let's just start from the top. You know, where is that at? Yeah, Sean Strickland is actually a favorite over Magomed Abbasubian, and I don't know about that, man. This guy, Sean Strickland, you saw how slow he started against Pieta. Like he likes to be hit. Like Sean Strickland is a good hammer and a good nail, but this guy's got like legit power, and I think that it could be a quick finish, very easily. There's not a lot of other bets on there, but Strickland here is in trouble because Strickland has no striking defense. The guy's just a brawler. You know, he might parry a few strikes with his arms over here. He does like this weird lifting of his shoulders, like to block strikes. But he likes to get hit. He's one of those guys that he wakes up when you hit him. But against some of these guys nowadays, you can't do that. Like it's different sparring and being in the gym and being like, and Strickland's good at like a tough motherfucker both in the gym and the octagon. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he's like the gym warrior. But the guy works out. He's training with Pieta, right? So he is not afraid of anyone. But that's a problem, right? Like when you're going full speed in the octagon, it's going to be a little different. And he's happy to take some to give some. And against this guy, that's not what you want to do. Like this guy could put you out. He's got legit power, right? Like, let's see here. Yeah, he's only got that one KO. He's a prospect, right? He doesn't have, you know, the stats are just are the stats. There isn't a lot there on the stats, but the guy's just hella dangerous. Excellent cigar, guys. The cigar is really surprising me. It complements the beer rather well. That pepperiness that was initially there is gone. None of it's there. A little slight flintiness to a creaminess. Super smooth. It's a winner. It's a very good Floridian cigar. I don't think I've ever said that. I think in my life, this is the first cigar I've ever smoked that was from Florida. Never said that in my life. I've had other American cigars, right? The H. Upman, Connecticut, used to be an American-made cigar. I saw the cigar and I didn't even read the box completely. I saw Florida. I hope I'm correct, guys. I hope I'm not talking out of my ass here, embarrassing myself because I read part of the box and then read it completely. Again, I don't go to the internet right away and then start doing research and I'm like, oh, it's this and that. It's constructed like this and this and that. And I look at the box. I didn't even read the box rapidly. I'm like, Florida. I saw Florida. I grabbed that cigar. I couldn't grab it fast enough to try to talk about it, to have the cigar. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad that it caught my eye, because I looked at the Drew Estates and I'm like, oh, I've done reviews on the Drew Estates. And then I saw that and I'm like, what is that? That's a Drew Estate, 20 acre. The way it was printed, it almost didn't seem like it was a Drew Estate. So, and then I read the cigar that it's a particular plot of land in Florida made here. I didn't go read the whole entire description on the box to see if all the tobacco is grown here in Florida or in the United States, but the wrapper is, right? I'm pretty certain that the wrapper is. You guys could fact check me in the chat. Somebody check me there. I rarely get checked on my information, which is interesting. Because like Donald Trump, I'm rarely wrong. I'm rarely wrong. I fact check other people. Stat check and fact check other fools. Not as much lately, I wish I were more stat rich. I've always mentioned I've been falling back just on what I know and my knowledge, right? Like we've seen all these fighters before, right? Like all of them have been in the UFC. We know what Strickland's like. We don't know this Magomedov guy though, right? We do know that the guy's a finisher and he's supposed to be prolific. The good thing about this is that Strickland isn't going to... And Strickland has wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Like, Strickland, I believe he has a jiu-jitsu black belt that he's never used. The guy never... Has he shot a takedown in the UFC? Like, let's look at that. Let's look at Sean Strickland. The guy is... Yes, no submissions. No submissions. No submissions. Yeah, no submissions in the UFC. How about takedowns? Yeah, Strickland had... a takedown in his last fight against Imavov. He had a takedown. He lost against Cannonier, but had a takedown. He had 4 takedowns against Uriah Hall, which is a smart thing to do, right? So he had one takedown against Brendan Allen, 1 takedown against Alex Garcia. He had a takedown in his loss against. Can't see that really good there, but. I mean, he has, he'll go for, 1 takedown. I mean, the guy, Strickland really just fell in love with his hands. And if he actually, wrestled more, did more jiu-jitsu, he would be in title contention. He has he's so tough. He's a fighter's fighter. The dude is just so friggin' tough. That if he just mixed it up and did MMA instead of just his stand-up striking, and he's not even a big kicker. If he just did more of his, really just mixed it up and utilized all of his talents rather than his toughness and his boxing, the guy could be champ. It hasn't developed himself, right? Like, dude, 26 wins and 5 losses. And his losses are to Jared Cannonier. We know how bad that motherfucker is. Alex Pieta is another one of his losses. And then, I can't read that from here. Well, he's got some losses against some nobodies, right? But that was a while ago. He's faced top competition. He could be a top-tier fighter if he had just developed his skill set. And he never did. And that's why I can't back him on this. You can't use him as a parlay piece. Hell no. I'd expect to finish there. I bet not to go the distance is going to be a pretty pricey number. One thing for Magomedov is we haven't seen him go far, deep into rounds, right? If he can't put Sean Strickland out in the second round, and after that it's all Strickland. I would live bet Strickland big time. After the second round, Sean Strickland's going to have the finishing upside and just the points because he's not going to quit. He's not going to tire where Magomedov, I'm not certain like if he's gone 5 rounds against the caliber of fighter that Sean Strickland is, right? The guy's like a round one finisher. They could be setting up Strickland for a loss here. Like Strickland is playing gatekeeper for this guy Magomedov to be fast tracked into a title potential fight. But yeah, I can't back Strickland at that number, and I'm going to stay away from Strickland in this particular bout. Yeah. Ishmael Bonfim. I think those are the two Bonfim brothers at minus 335. Yeah, those Bonfims, those two brothers, they are badasses. Those guys are, again, if they could work on their wrestling, they're great strikers, have great jiu-jitsu, great stamina. If they improve their wrestling, those guys, both of them, both the Bonfims, have a chance of being like title contenders. They're going to get a title shot. Exciting guys, finishers. Just there's not enough juice on anybody in this card, in my opinion. Right? There's no one really that, I'm thinking that Alexander Romanov, but he could falter me with that Cara Rosa parlay at plus 166. That's not a bad two-piece right there. I like that two-piece right there. Melissa Gatto against Ariana Lipinski. That might be that's not too wide. But if we threw a third piece in there, that Bonfim at plus 246, the juice probably isn't worth the squeeze there, right? For a Trixie there, for round robin a Trixie. Like we do our standard $100 Trixie is what we would do, right? $100 Trixie would win like $360 or something like that. $400. We'll profit you wait, I'm sorry. Potential payout. Yeah, $300. $100 will win you $300. I don't know. Not sure of that, man. Not liking a lot of the numbers on this card. A lot of big favorites here, which I would be cautious of, people. I'd be cautious even of some of the smaller favorites like Strickland. I wouldn't put him in a parlay. Bonfim, he's a little pricey, but I think it's still parlayable at minus 335. But that number's going to change. You got to use him in that parlay like right now, like Bonfim. And rather than, I like Romanov, but I'm more confident in Rosa, and her number just went up as we were talking. You just get the plus 100 with those two. Right? You throw 100 on that to win you 100. And that two-piece right there. Plus 100. Little scary, but that might be the play for me, guys. I'm not too excited on really any of these dogs nor any of these lines. And I say it was another card of very inconsistent fighters, that people that you got to be careful of. I mean, there were a couple upsets last week. Yeah, I mean, even on the prop bets, oh man, where are the finishes? Ugh. I really wish I did more research on this card, guys, which I didn't do. I didn't do my research, guys. I know these fighters. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Demetrius Magulov and Grant Dawson, that goes the distance. And I wouldn't count out Grant Dawson as a dog. That should be a pick 'em. It almost is. I think that Melissa Gatto versus Ariana Lipinski should be a closer line. Ariana Lipinski might be the dog of the night, other than Supian Magomedov, and take the Supian Magomedov TKO line, right? I think that might be the play, right? This is just a. And I'm going to look at the Romanov submission line, whatever that's going to pay out. And if that's a meaty number, if that's something that's got some good meat to it, I might jump on that. Oh, this beer is so fucking good, guys. So good, creamy, juicy, citrusy. Got the kick. 10 all day. 10 all day on the microphone. Check 1 2 1 2. 10 all day. The cigar is a solid 8.5. Very smooth with a light, slight flintiness. The creamy finish. Excellent cigar, guys. 8.5 easily. Easily an 8.5. Well rolled, as you can see. Very impressed today with both the products that we got here. Both our products. So, you know, what we're sipping and what we're smoking. Very, very happy with the selection, guys. Highly recommended each of these, especially this beer and the cigar. And both are just highly recommended. They are on the upper end of the flavor spectrum. If you like a softer, milder cigar, this is a cigar for you. If you like that softer smoke, this is a smoke for you guys, man. The 20 Acre Farm cigar. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know, if you wanted to ash this, you can. You know, do the slight little tap, but I love seeing the placations. I love seeing it stacked and how it's uniform. It's really well rolled. Like whoever is in the rolling places, I don't know if this was actually made in Florida here in the States, or it was American tobacco that was taken to their Honduran or Ecuadorian facilities. That can happen, right? Like tobacco shipped all over the world. You get stuff that's in Florida, you go to the cigars that are there. The cigars come from the tobacco comes from the Dominican Republic, comes from Mexico, Honduras, Cuba, comes from everywhere. So it would be interesting. I need to learn a little bit more about this cigar because it's on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of what the flavor is, and I like it a lot. I need to start investing into my cigars again. That's the next step of starting investing into the cigars again, reselling them, keeping them for myself, but also having them available, not just to give to people that are my guests or my friends, but I say, hey, you know, contact me, hit me up. You know, we'll you know, make some cocos happen between us. You know what I mean? You want something? I could, you know, we'll make a nice trade for something. Real windy here today. Yeah, so this is a tough card, I think, all the way around to call. I think the biggest favorite is Guram Kutsalave, and I've been burned by Kutsalave before. I don't know about Elvis Brenner, so I'd have to look into him. I just, Kevin Lee as a dog, I just can't do it. Can't do it coming back to the UFC. Lots of pressure on him. Guy's a little bit of a head case. I just can't, even at dog money, expect him to do rather well on his return. I'm glad he's got the opportunity, but you know, I wish that he does win. I'm gonna be rooting for him, to win, but I think that Renat is gonna be able to dominate him. Let's see, if Kevin Lee, let's see how well Kevin Lee can wrestle. Another wrestler that has fallen in love with his hands. Do what's best for you. Kevin Lee suffered because he never improved his jiu-jitsu. Like a good wrestler that never improved his jiu-jitsu, and it cost him. And he was horrible at jiu-jitsu defense. Like he was always easily subbed, and he was a wrestler that just, fell in love with his hands, fell in love with his strength and his control and his ground and pound, and never really took that next step to improve your jiu-jitsu. And I don't understand why these guys don't work on your weaknesses, right? We see how sometimes that can help. Look at Macy Barber this week, who just improved all the way around, especially in her striking. Like her striking was so improved, it was ridiculous. She was faster, she had great movement, her cardio was good. She looked like a future champ out there, and because she took it to that next level. Alexander Romanov, man, get better, even better at your wrestling and your submissions. Romanov fell in love with his hands too. He falls in love with his hands. At heavyweight, he doesn't need to do that. If he could just, he's so big and has enough wrestling acumen where he could dominate almost all the heavyweights if he just focused a little more on his jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Carl Rosa, she's got all-around skills, primarily as a kickboxer, but also suffers from that wrestling, doesn't have that wrestling. So she's going to have problems because she's going to stand and trade. And Carl Rosa's a tough woman. So, but Santos is going to keep up with her. Right, Santos is going to have a speed advantage, a little younger, I believe. Carlos is getting up there in age. Like, I don't understand these fighters. Use what, you have to be well-rounded nowadays. You cannot, and we're going to see that. I believe Aljamain Sterling is completely correct about his fight with Sean O'Malley. O'Malley's been working on that wrestling and working on his jiu-jitsu, but I mean, if you're being taken down and controlled by Peter Yan, imagine what fucking, and look at what the MMA wrestling that, the wrestling that he utilized against Cejudo, who's a champ, a world champion, Olympic champion. And Sterling out-wrestled him, right? It's different when you have a cage there. It's different when you're in that octagon as opposed to just a wrestling match when somebody's also hitting you and striking you. And Sterling mixes it up. Sterling is a well-rounded fighter. That's why he's the champion. He's improved his game. He's got his mixture in tune to who he is, right? Like Ismagulov and Grant Dawson going to be a stand-up affair. Neither guy has wrestling. Neither guy has jiu-jitsu. Never going to be a champ. You're not going to be a champion in the UFC unless you have super, super high-level takedown defense and striking like Israel Adesanya. Like, he is the anomaly. Israel Adesanya is the anomaly of all the champions because of his takedown defense. But when he's outsized or when somebody, like when he tried to go up a weight class with somebody that had some basic wrestling, and Jan doesn't even have fantastic wrestling. His grappling is not great, and it just the size difference and the strength. He was able to control Adesanya, right? Adesanya wasn't able to avoid that takedown because of Jan's strength and his wrestling ability. Yeah. I think the announcers last week, Dominic Cruz had some of his better commentary that he's had in a long time. He stayed away from who's winning the fight. And oh my God, DC, please, DC, stop focusing on who's winning the goddamn fight, bro. Talk to what you know best. Talk to your strengths. I don't care who you think is winning, DC. I'm talking to you seriously, DC. I don't care. Nobody cares who you think is winning, right? Nobody cares what the fuck I'm talking about, but believe me, they almost as much as little think what I'm fucking saying is you. because I don't care. You know, you don't have to talk about announcers. Talk about your strengths. You're a wrestling guy. You should be focused on like things that that are wrestling things. You should be explaining the wrestling aspects that are there, and you get out commentated by Cruz and even by Felder about wrestling, which is your strength. And you want to make jokes, you know, like, dude, get a clue of what your profession is. You're supposed to be enhancing the fight, not judging the fight. You want to be a judge? Hey, they need some good judges out there, DC, and I don't think you'd make a good judge. I don't think DC would make a good judge. I think he'd make a horrible judge. The guy is so preferential to, I don't know what he's looking and talking about sometimes, but he's certainly talking about who's winning the fight all the time when he's a commentator, and he shouldn't be judging. It ruins the show. It ruins, the fighters can hear you, the judges can hear you. It influences the marketplace. It influences the bettors out there that listen to you. I don't. I don't listen to DC. If DC is saying somebody's winning the fight, fucking live bet the opposite, motherfuckers. Take the other person. Bet the other way. If DC is saying, oh, somebody's winning this fight, bet the other way. Because DC, man, dude, oh, man, I messed up my suede shoes. I gotta clean these things. That was a big ash right there, huh? And he can't help himself. Can't help himself but to judge. It's like, dude, you're not a judge. And he's like, oh, I'm not a judge, but yet I'll fucking judge the fight, every fucking single fight. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. No, that's why I avoided DC when I was in Kansas City, because that motherfucker would kick my ass. Because I'll tell DC straight to his face, dude, you got to stop judging the fights, bro. You're fucking up the commentary. You're not that interesting. When you are making the judgments, I want to hear, you're a fantastic wrestler. You're obviously a great wrestler. You're a great wrestling coach. You're successful at everything. Do what you do is best. And that's the same with a lot of these guys. And DC got good boxing, too. Like, his boxing is solid, man. He can talk about his boxing. Talk about what's happening in the fight, DC. Talk about the skills that you're observing. Talk about what you're seeing, the enhancements, the changes, the adjustments, the movements. Tell us, educate us. Don't judge what the fucking fight is. Educate us, DC. Educate us. You're a good educator. You're a good speaker. I enjoy when you do provide that insight, but you provide so little of it that it's like you're not an asset to the team. Dominic Cruz last week did a fantastic job. His analysis, what he was saying was, that's why I always love Dominic Cruz as an announcer. When he's not, he got in that little judging thing for a while too. They all fall into it. Felder, same thing. Love his commentary, love his insight, love his voice. And he fell into the judging a little bit too much. And I think they're starting to realize that that's not their wheelhouse. That's not their lane. Their lane is what they do best as MMA fighters and provide us that great insight to what is occurring and better explanations than I could even explain. And it's true that we're watching the fight and we see what's happening. And like, oh, wow, that's what it's called. Or that's the way he should do it. Oh, he should do this or that. Dominic Cruz provided last week. He killed it, saying, "Oh, how to escape this position? He needs to do this, not just simple bucking or it's wrestling 101 or striking 101, not just basic commentary." He was providing actually really good educational insight into what was occurring in these matches, and that's what I expect from these commentators. But hell no, you're gonna get that from fucking DC. You're gonna make jokes about hair on the back. Talk about hair on the back of the chest and your ass and shit like that. Shut up. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I get it. It's semi-funny, but dude, you can be funny and insightful and interesting. I love DC. I think he has tons of potential as an announcer. He's a likable guy, great voice as well, always smiling, happy, positive person. I just wish he would use his brain a little bit more and we get the cerebral side of him. He should be listening to Dominic Cruz and doing his research and adding that element into his repertoire as an announcer and he will be the best, right? Because he's got that personality. He's a likable guy. Like, I think Bisping is improving too. Bisping's getting so much better. I think every aspect of Bisping has improved. He's the good. He's doing what DC should do, being funny. I mean, Bisping's not afraid to talk about the jiu-jitsu. And if you guys think that Bisping doesn't know jiu-jitsu, you guys don't know shit. That motherfucker was the best counter wrestler, counter jiu-jitsu guy in maybe the history of the UFC, right? Like, he did get submitted by George St. Pierre, right? And he did lose, but the guy knew his shit, man. He knows his stuff. So when he's talking about his jiu-jitsu, I'm like, why is he talking about jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, oh, he does know jiu-jitsu, right? People might say he doesn't know jiu-jitsu. I'm like, oh, he knows jiu-jitsu, right? He's primarily a striker, but he learned jiu-jitsu. He knows jiu-jitsu. He knows how to escape jiu-jitsu and wrestling and counter wrestling was fantastic. So he knows his shit, so he could talk to it. Enough of my ranting. I got a little buzz, I guess. That's why if I go to Nashville, I'm staying away from DC. I'm going to get my ass kicked. Almost got my ass kicked by a couple fighters already in Kansas City. What was really cool is that when I met Brendan Allen, and the guys mentioned like, oh, he doesn't, he's got issues with DC. Allen right away like knew what was up. And when I had a little discussion with Brendan Allen, he like knew exactly what my perspective would have been if I mentioned it. I did mention it. I was like, hey, this is what I think. I think he's not enhancing the show. And he's like, I can't say anything negative about DC, but I stay in my lane. I know what I'm doing, and I stay in my lane. And that's what his response was to me. Was, I know what I'm best at. I help everybody, and I know my lane. And that's all I ask of DC is like, yo, change up your game. Change up your game, DC. Like, because you could always have the job, but you could get better at what you do, and you could get to that next level, right? You could almost dominate because he does have that personality, that nice smile, very personal guy. You want to hug him. Very friendly. He's got the street, he could be street, backyard. He could be hillbilly. He could be refined. Like, the guy's he could push a lot of buttons and go all over the place. DC has it's his world, and it could be his game. And it is right now in a way. But I think he's sort of like, because he got there so fast, he forgets that, that the professionalism aspect of it and the information aspect of it, the educational aspect of it, that is very, he's not informative, right? I want him to be more informative. He is friendly. He has all those other aspects. If he could do his research, right, get more informative and tell us, change up and be a little more educational. When he's doing his commentary, say, hey, what this guy needs to do to escape right now, well, look at that underhook. He changed that underhook for a trip. When they're on the fence like this, he can take him down. Does he do that? No. He makes some other comment. He continues to comment on, like, he's winning the fight because he's in the clinch. He's controlling him here. Stop focusing on who's winning the fight. Start to focus on what the action is and educate us on how an opponent or somebody can, or one of the fighters can utilize their wrestling abilities to get out of the certain position or change the aspects of the fight. Utilize something like that rather than talk about how many fucking pubic hairs you can see, or this guy's really hairy, got a hairy back or something. Like, I remember that discussion of the hairy back got me because I'm like, yeah, DC, you're trying too hard to be funny. Like, I don't need comedy when I'm watching this. Yes, it's nice to have that light lady or light, I forget what it's called, that just calmness. I appreciate that with DC, but man, dude, just educate us, bro. Help us out. I got a buzz already. These two Mikerphone breweries are 8% already kicking my butt. And if you go and look at the history, I've already mentioned this years ago. Like 2 years ago, I did a piece on how Rogan and DC were judging too much and how they were influencing judges and fighters alike. And you could go back. So I've been talking about this for a while. No band. Welcome, bow betters. Welcome, bow betters. Still nobody in the chat. Oh, my cigar guy, Benny, asked me, like, hey, how's the YouTube thing going? And I'm like, well, I know I'm doing okay because I don't get a lot of views, but I'm drinking good ass beer and smoking good ass cigars. You know? Like, it's good. The things are good, man. Things are good. How can they be bad? Like, I'm not doing this for money. It's my day off. I'm just chilling out here. I'm going to be smoking and drinking if I wasn't in front of the camera, and I'm going to smoke and drink once I'm off camera. So it's like it's the same thing. I'm just hoping to have a little audience occasionally, maybe some responses. But that's all right. I'm going to be off Thursdays and Fridays, so I'm going to try to like hook up with Ranj or somebody else, like on a Friday, like collab with somebody else on Thursdays and Friday. Maybe be the fourth wheel on their show if possible, or somebody else's show if they would have me. You know, prepare, do a little something a little bit more scripted, have a little bit more tighter information on what I'm doing. But that might motivate me. Not necessarily motivate me, but might get me back on par to what we were doing before. But you know, lately everything's been good, guys. Everything's really good. The betting hasn't been fantastic. Like, there was a winning week last week, and in the last event there was, you know, I broke even, which a lot of people like breaking even. So it's better than losing, man. Not when you're making like 10 bets and you break even. You know what I mean? Like, if you're making like 5 or 6 bets or 7 bets and you break even, it's okay. You're making 10 bets, man. I guess it's better than losing, but you know, you want to make profit. You want to make money out of this thing. And when you put that risk out there and you don't make a profit, it sucks. It sucks because you're risking it. You're putting that. You could have lost it all. So you're risking it with no return. You might as well just kept it, not bet. Oh, I hear that cardinal. I see that cardinal over there. Nine Club, guys. Fabulous cigar. Fabulous. It has a flinty center, right? That cedar to Flint, then the like creamy finish with the beer. Maybe it's the pairing, but fabulous cigar. Nine Club, guys. Can't believe it, from a fucking $11 cigar from Florida in the Nine Club. Very, very nice, very refined, great construction, great draw. Mm. Love that Flint with, it's almost like a Chardonnay. Like has a very, not a Pinot Grigio, but a Chardonnay sort of texture to it with a little Flint, but still with mouth or palate. Like, ooh, there's another Cardinal right there. They be hooking up. They're hooking up over there, the Cardinals. Ooh, just flew over me. Another show, and I do these shows impromptu. I don't have a particular time that I do it at. Oh, that Flint, it's like a Chardonnay. I'm telling you guys, it's has a flintiness with a smooth, not citrus finish, but a smooth, full-bodied finish. It's creamy. Oh, love it. Love that second to third taste point. Just fabulous, guys. Just fabulous. Like I don't want to give it a 10, but or even a 9.5. We'll let it in the 9 Club for now, and we'll leave it at that. But this is a fabulous cigar for $11 all day, guys. Good buy, good purchase, good smoke, good stick. Can't go wrong with this thing, man. Can't go wrong. Very nice flavor, very nice cigar. Very happy. Yeah, I think it's another car to prop out. Like look for finishes, right? Like you go and Romanov, I think that goes to a finish. I doubt it goes to a decision either way. And I like Romanov there, and that price is not that bad. I like Rosa's finish line. Let's see if that offers some meat, because she is a finisher. Ismagulov and Grant Dawson, I think that goes to a decision. I mean, both guys are just so fucking. If Grant Dawson decides to wrestle, if he could actually wrestle, and he has the jiu-jitsu advantage here. Ismagulov is a pure striker, strong guy, great takedown defense though. Like Dawson just doesn't have that wrestling acumen to really contest Demir, and I think that's why Demir is the favorite. I slightly favor Grant Dawson. Ismagulov as well, just as Vegas does, because he's great on the feet, and Dawson's path to victory is going to be on the ground. It's going to have a hard time knocking out Ismagulov. And his wrestling, and Grant Dawson's jiu-jitsu is good, but his wrestling is not that good. So I'm leaning there. Melissa Gatto versus Ariana Lipinski. I don't think a finish there. I think maybe we'll see with the decision only. It's probably going to be like minus 130 for a decision prop there. Like, just bet the decision. I don't think Gatto finishes Ariana Lipinski, but we'll see. Bonfim, look at his finish line. It's probably going to be like finish line like plus 120 or even like plus even money. Like that is going to be the line there. And then I think the Abasupian Magomedov finish line is what to look at there. Like him as a dog, and then him as a fit with getting the TKO, because he's going to stand and Strickland's going to stand and trade with him, and that's going to be a big mistake. But it's a huge step up for Magomedov. Huge, but that guy's got some serious hands. He's got some serious reach. Not the best movement, but neither does Sean Strickland. Strickland does not move very well. Like he's a phone booth fighter, and so is, and that's going to help Abasupian Magomedov tag him, hit him, and get there. So dog money, I got to go with Abasupian. I got to grab that plus 143 right now today. Grab that dog money, and then on Wednesday bet him with a TKO on that finish line. Strickland is tough to finish. I mean, we saw Pieta finish him, but Strickland is not normally finished that easily. I don't have my cheater glasses to read the band here. There's some information. Love this cigar. We got a 9 and a 10, guys. That's a good day. You're having top shelf quality, and the beer is top shelf. Like the beer is like $17 for a 4-pack, so you're at that top shelf already, guys. You know what I mean? Like when you're spending $20 for a fucking 4-pack, you're at $5 a beer at the store. You're at a premium level. And cigars, I think you're at a premium level. Not, I would say it's still premium. It's not ultra premium. I don't think I've had I've had 8 cigars, but I've not had any ultra premium cigars on this channel so far. We haven't discussed any of the ultra premium cigars. I was looking at some Monte Cristos that were like at $22 and some other cigars that are at that price point. I don't always find a need to review or to have those cigars, but I think the next Sip and Smoke, I'm going to do a review on one of those ultra premiums, just to get a reference and have my reference and reference point for my palate there, and then see if it's worth it. Compare it to something like this. Does it get the rating for $25 a cigar as opposed to $11 cigar? That will it make the 9 Club? Is going to be the challenge. The beer's a 10, guys. That's a 10 beer all day. That is one of the best beers right there that I've had, on the show. That's so tasty, so drinkable, great flavor, great buzz, just good. Burp. Just really, really good beer. Fabulous cigars. Life is good, guys. I wish I could hit some better bets. Make some, I didn't hit certain bets last week that I went for the big money. For that big plus money, I did the big gambling, but I didn't do big gambling, but I did went for big plus money, and I didn't get it. And I bet some round props. I fucked up on Tapuria, and this guy, I predicted it would go to a decision. I did predict it was a unanimous decision. Didn't do it on the channel, but I did it live with Brian and with other people. This beer is so good. Guys, if you've made it this far, you are about better. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Hit the like button. I don't have the viewership that I once had or that I once could have had. Don't worry about it, guys. We're still doing things. Look for me potentially in Nashville. We're going to do a Nashville thing. Possibly. We'll see. I might be heading to Asia or back to Costa Rica for a vacation next month. We're going to see how everything goes. I would say avoid this card, though. I don't think that they're, like there are a couple spots that I've already mentioned to you guys. Romana finish, Rosa finish, Ismagulov Grant decision prop, the Ivana Perovich Luna decision prop, Bonfim finish prop, and Magomedov on the money line and on the finish. I just think that Strickland, even though he's been training with everybody, he's a tough guy. It's like, dude, toughness doesn't always win fights. Skills do it. And he's a very skilled striker, but he's going to be getting hit by Abasupian. He's going to... Abasupian is a legit fucking TKO artist. Sean Strickland is not. And Strickland, just like he with Pieta, that shit could happen fast. So... those are my recommendations. Those aren't my official plays. Leave something in the comment section. I'll give you an official play that I'll like update you. If you leave something in the comment section, we'll get some more beer. Welcome, bow betters. Even though you guys haven't asked, we know the beer is fucking good when we're on the fourth beer. Not even finished the fucking stream. We're on the fourth beer. It's done, guys. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap on the beers. So light, so smooth, delicate, great cedar, great construction, great draw. Man, Drew Estate's fucking killing the game, bro. Killing it. Drew Estate's killing it. Mikerphone Brewing is killing it. The Mikerphone check 1, 2. Fabulous. Busy day already. Taking care of the moms. Now I get to relax. It's cloudy out there, overcast. Perfect day for like a bike ride, fishing, even skateboarding. There's a little dampness, but man, would have been good to skate. Not bad at all. Guys, I'm going to drop off. I got really nothing more to say. No one's here to comment anything. I just want to say thank you guys for whatever patronage you've been giving me. Please leave a comment in the comments section. Illinois Bigfoot, always appreciate the Iceman picks. You know, you were always correct. You got that. Actually, no, you didn't get the pick right. Barber kicked that ass. Barber kicked that ass last week. Should have jumped on that dog money on Barber in that finish line. She was like plus 500 on that finish line or TKO line, man. She just, just came out and we saw, the future right there. So let's see if she continues with that. But again, thank you very much. If you made it this far, you are about better. Good on you. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the back end, all right?